So welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going through some practice problems for the civil section of the FE exam. So if this is what you're planning to take in the future and you're really looking to pass your FE, this is the perfect video for you. Today we're specifically going to be going over some practice problems for the single variable calculus. And so I'm just right now I am in the specifications for the topics that you'll need in order to pass the exam, and it says that you will definitely need a single variable calculus, and they're going to give you some questions on those. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. So I have three practice problems for you all. Problem number one says, for the problem number one, the given functions perform the indicated function evaluations. So we have f of x is equal to 3 minus 5x minus 2x squared. And for part A, what is f of 4? So when I look at these problems, any problem that I do for the FE, I think, am I going to need to use my reference manual for this, or do they give me everything I need in the problem? For this particular example, I want you to take some time and think about it yourself. But for this particular example, as I looked at it and thought through it, it looks like they give me everything I need. For this particular problem, says f of x, or f for this particular one, it says f of 4. So I know anywhere that there is a x value, I need to plug in 4 for this problem. So if this problem doesn't ring any bells, this is why we're taking the time to do some practice with it, because I remember when I took the FE, I forgot some of this basic calculus stuff. So let's get right into it. So we have, please don't mind my handwriting, it is not the best. So we're looking at f of 4 is equal to 3 minus 5x minus 2x squared. So we're literally going to plug in 4 every time that we see an x value. So it's just going to be 3 minus 5 times 4 minus 2 times 4 squared. All right, that gives us 3 minus 20 minus 2 times 16 minus 32 minus 20 and then 3. And this equals f of 4. Okay. So I can't do that math in my head, so I'll just use a calculator. 3 minus 20 minus 32, and I get f of 4 in this case is equal to negative 49. All right, so hopefully that wasn't too fast for you all, and we're going to do another one just in case. And this is going to hopefully get you thinking about single variable calculus and how it's not necessarily hard stuff. You just have to know how to substitute your variables. All right. So we're going to work on D now. And D says we're going to use f of Let me undo that. That was ugly. F of 6 minus t. And if you're finding some value out of this video, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, as it really helps the channel to grow. I know that you're taking some time to practice, so you might as well subscribe, number one, to keep up with when I post videos. I'm thinking about doing topics or going through practice problems for every single topic. So literally you can just work them through, pause, and then check your solutions with me. So it'll be something. And turn your notification bell on, because you'll be alerted every time that I post a new video. So. All right. So we're going to do the same thing, except for every time we see x, we're going to plug in 6 minus t. So five times 6 minus t. Nice. Minus 2 times 6 minus t. And we're going to square that. All right. I believe I did that right, but you all can leave comments if I'm not doing it right. Be good to back check my work as well. 3 minus, I'm just going to go ahead and distribute my 5. So 30 plus 5t. Okay. Now I like to do minus 2 times, and I'm not good with multiplying everything, so I kind of double it up and do it like that. Okay, I'm gonna bring this stuff over because it's kind of in the way. So 3 minus 30 is just negative 27. Okay. Plus 5t. And minus 2 times. And I have not done this in a while, so this will be good for me as well. 6 times 6 is 36. Minus 6t. Okay. Minus 6t. Plus t squared. Nice. All right. So that gives us now 36 minus 12t plus t squared. Okay. And now we have to multiply that all by a negative 2 plus 5t negative 27. All right, so hopefully you're following along with me. This is taking me longer than it probably should, but trying to go at it at a decent speed. So negative 72 plus, and this is good that you can practice. Most problems are going to take maybe 2 to 3 minutes, so I'm sure this is taking me over that amount, but typically that's about how long a problem is going to take. And I've seen them give problems like this. It may not be like 6 minus t, but the first, like the f of 4, and definitely they would give something like that because it's quick, easy, and if you know what you're doing, you can just plug and chug. All right, and then minus 2t squared. All right, let's get rid of some of these values. All right, so you got negative 27. Hopefully I carried those. Yeah, I didn't. I missed something. Missed a t there. Okay, so negative 27. I got a negative 72. Plus negative 99. And then I have, what is that? Plus 29t. And then minus 2t squared. So this is what I get for f of 6 minus t. Now, if you want to break that up and just keep going and seeing if you can get it to the smallest number possible, that's cool, but this is the gist. If you see a problem where it gives you a function, and if you are to evaluate that function with a particular variable like 4 or like 6 minus t, then you just want to plug and chug that into your formula. So hopefully this was helpful. This is problem number 1. Wanted to kind of start out simple, and now we can work our way to the next problem. And if you have questions, please leave them in the comment section. Questions, concerns. If you would like to work with me one-on-one, I'm going through some things. Be sure to check the links down in the description, as I do work with people one-on-one to help them pass the FE. I failed this thing twice, so very important for you to pass this thing and not have to deal with it. Go ahead and get some extra money and begin working to get your PE. So I've been in civil engineering for probably like 6 years, but post-graduation have my FE for about 2. So fairly still new to the game. All right, let's go to problem number 2. All right, so hopefully you all can see this. I can blow it up a little bit. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, so problem number 2. And also it says problem number 5, and I can shoot you where I'm getting these practice problems from, because it's all public information. So they have a lot of practice problems, and if you want to check that out, they do have the solutions as well, and I'll leave that in the description box as well. All right, so it says the difference quotient of the function f of x is defined to be f of x plus h minus f of x over h. So it says compute the difference quotient for f of x is equal to 4x minus 9. All right, so this problem seems to me, just looking at it at first glance, a little complicated, but we're going to take it step by step. First, ask ourselves, do we need the FE handbook for this? And I'll let you take a second to answer that. Probably need to add some effects and do like maybe a drum roll or something to make these videos a little bit more interesting. But my answer is no. They literally give you all the information you need to solve this problem. So how I would go about solving this problem is there's a bunch of different functions of different stuff. So you got f of x, they tell you what f of x is, and I see an f of x in the problem that I'm trying to solve. So we're literally, let me just write out the equation so that you see it. So it says f x plus h minus x over h. This is what we're solving. This is what we're solving for. And it tells us that, and I'm going to change colors just for this. Let's do a red. It lets us know over here that f x, yeah, come on, let me be great today. Just let me be great. Is equal to 4x plus 9. All right, so we have f of x, all right? Well, where is f of x in our problem? Well, it looks like it's right here. All right, so it looks like we have part of our problem already figured out. Okay, so we know that. Now, how I like to break it up in pieces. So I'll say that's a portion, just make this green. This is a portion. And I'll make that purple. This is a portion. Well, let's look at it. Do we know what f of x plus h is? Well, we don't know that, but we can solve for it because they give us the function, right? So let's solve for it. Let me get my green. So f x plus h is equal to, we're just going to plug it in this function, just like we did in problem 1, right? 4 times x plus h equal, or plus 9. All right, so we know that this is 4x plus 4h plus 9. All right, so it seems like we're getting somewhere. So we know what f of x plus h is. We know what f of x is. And we know that h is just h. It's literally h. So let's see if we start plugging these values. Let me circle them so you can maybe see them. Maybe if we plug these values in, let's see if that breaks up this and allows it to die down and get us a value, right? If it gives us the difference quotient. All right. So I think I was using blue, so I'm gonna just go back to blue. Or maybe I can use green. I'll keep the colors. Let me know if the colors are helping or they're making it harder to understand. So we're gonna plug and chug literally those values. So 4x plus 4h plus 9, right? I just did this value. use that function, found that function value. And then I'm going to switch over to red. And we're going to do minus 4x plus 9. All right. We just plug this value for here. And then all over h. Okay. So now we have everything we need. So I'm already seeing stuff begin to cancel out. And I also have to make sure that I put this in parentheses correctly. So I'm just going to get my, well, this is very important. This is a value. This is a value. Okay. So if we put these values to work, right, we have to distribute that negative to this whole function. It's just not to a piece of the function. It has to be to the whole function. So anytime you have addition, subtraction, whatever it may be, it needs to apply to the whole function. So there's nothing on h, which is nice, so we keep h the same. There's nothing on this function, the f of x plus h function. But there is one on just the plain f of x function. So now we're going to keep moving. And once we distribute those, is now going to be 4x plus 4h plus 9 minus 4x minus 9 all over h. Okay, so let's keep pushing. It looks like these are canceled out. It looks like 4x minus 4x is 0. So we are left with 4h over h. How convenient. So equals, oop. It didn't want me to be great. So equals 4. So hopefully this made sense. Our answer is 4. So we just took our functions. We use the variables that we were given. They gave us a function f of x is equal to 4x minus 9. And they gave us an entire bigger function that we needed to find the difference quotient. And the difference quotient of that big function was just 4. So it's a little bit of plugging variables in, getting stuff to cancel, looking at the big picture, making sure that you're distributing subtraction to the functions or addition to the functions, and just plugging and chugging, basically. So hopefully this was helpful. This problem is something I could definitely see them giving on the exam as well. And this is like this should be quick. I just went through it very slowly. It's honestly a kind of a review for me as well. So I tried to use colors to help. So again, let me know if this is helping or hurting. All right, that's problem number 2. And if you're still with me, I really appreciate you. Really appreciate you. All right. Last problem is a single variable calculus problem, but this is dealing with roots. So we want to get right into it. First, we always start out with, can we use, or do we need to use, our FE manual for this type of problem? And my guess is, again, no, if you understand what roots are. And roots are pretty much values where you don't have a y value, or your y value is equal to 0, right? So where on this problem, it says determine all roots of f of x is equal to x to the 5th minus 4x to the 4th minus 32x to the 3rd. So I just want to put this in perspective for you. So let's just say we're just going to use a chart for an example. This function is, it could be doing something like this, right? It's a quadratic, whatever, squiggly line. You know, if you had f of x is equal to x squared, it would just be a plain parabola. Anyways, where your roots are going to be is when, not that. And I like changing colors now. This is the first video I did it, but now I like changing colors. Those are going to be your roots, where your x, I meant where your y values are equal to 0. So just another way to explain and hopefully help you to visually see, okay, what are they asking for? They're just asking along this crazy line, where is it touching the x-axis? Where is that root coming from? So, all right, let's delete that. All right, so how do we find roots? Well, we need to find where your y's are 0, your y value equals 0. But specifically, if we can break this up into having the function to draw, we can break it up to have to say, let's just, for example, say x minus 5. We know that our root would be x is equal to 5. Or if we had x squared, we would know this particular root, if we broke it up, our x would be equal to 0. So that's how you're able to tell your roots. Well, you have to break it up to where it's just x and a number. And how you get that root is if you set x minus 5 is equal to 0, and then x is equal to 5. So that's basically what it's explaining when you break this up. So let's do it. Let's get into it. Let's try to break this problem down into the simplest form that we can get it. So right now we have this gigantic x to the 5th minus 4x to the 4th minus 32x cubed. All right, how can we get this? What do we see common in this? Well, I see that x is common, right? So I know that I can break this up as far as to, I see x cubed in at least each section. And let me circle the section so you see. I see x cubed in this. I see at least x cubed in that. And I see x cubed in that. So I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say, oh, I can definitely factor this down to x cubed. All right, so what does that leave me with? Well, it leaves me with x squared, and we're not changing this formula at all, or we're not changing this function at all. Okay, minus 4x, right? And minus 32. Okay, that looks pretty good, but can we break this down any more? I think we can. I see where I could break this function into, well, what can I multiply to get 32, but it also, how can I factor this down basically? And I see that I can factor it down to, if I use 8s and 4s, I think I can get a -4 to come out somewhere. So x, I'm going to go with x minus 8 and then x plus 4. So I know if I was to work that backwards, I know that gives me x squared. All right, if I distribute that, just use green again. So if I distribute that to these and that to that, I know I would get x squared, right? Plus 4x, and then if I distribute my -8, get -8x, and then I know I'll get a -32. So that cancels to a -4x, which lets me know that this actually does work, and I wrote my problem out correctly. So, all right. So enough of that. Let's see if I can, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get everything like I want it, so I may have to just rewrite it. Okay. So x minus 8, and then x plus 4. Perfect. So now it looks like I can determine my roots now, right? I got it in the simplest form possible. I didn't change up my function, but I can now determine the roots. So x to the third is equal to, whoop. If I break this up, having a brain fart. X to the third is equal to 0. X minus 8 is equal to 0. And then x plus 4. It does not want me to be great. I was close. I'm really, really close. So x plus 4 is equal to 0. All right. So now I know that for this one, x is equal to 0. So that's one root. Another root, x is equal to 8. And then another root is x is equal to all right. Equal to -4. Perfect. All right, so you can always back check this, right? A root just means your y value is equal to 0. So if we plug in x equals 0, are we going to get 0? Yes. If you plug in 8, you're going to get 0 again. And if you plug in -4, you're also going to get 0. So you know that these are in fact your roots. All right. My handwriting was crazy, but I hopefully this video was helpful for you. If you liked it, please make sure that you like the video, share the video, as well as comment any questions that you have. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. On my previous video, I went through, what did I go through? I think it was, I have these problems right now. Yeah, analytic geometry. So that is the section, that's the previous section. And the next section that I'll be going through is vector operations. So stay tuned. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.